Hey man, it's been a while since we were talking, man. How you been recently, man? Has everything been okay with you? Did you have any questions about what we've been talking about? Yeah, man. I've been doing pretty okay, but I don't know, something been bugging me for a while, and I wanted to know what I'm supposed to be doing here because I've been rolling with these Group A guys for some time, and I'll say this, man. These guys, they definitely would tell me what to do in any given situation. If there was any sort of confusion about what I was supposed to be doing, I would always go to them and they would tell me what to do each and every time, no questions asked. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing if I ain't rolling with these guys. Am I supposed to find somebody else to tell me what to do? Well, man, I'll say this. I think that's a natural thought to have is if you've been living with this group or rolling with this group for so long and they've always given you very exact information. I think that's a natural. I think that's a natural question to ask yourself, which is, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? These guys have told me what to do each and every time. And I guess my first question to you then is, how do you normally arrive at a decision on your own? What do you normally do when you're kind of at a crossroads, if that makes sense? Bro, I already told you I don't know what to do when I'm at that crossroads, okay? Every time I would ask somebody for some fucking help, all I got was fucking screaming or fucking smacking, okay? I didn't get no good feedback. I didn't get no perspective. What are you talking about? How do I make a decision? I don't know how to make a decision. I don't know what good criteria looks like to make a good decision. I don't know what the outcome of a good decision looks like. How do you make a decision? So, man, I think I know what that feels like. I think I do. I didn't get a lot of good feedback either. I didn't get a lot of good perspective either. In my experience, every time I was asking a hard question or a tough question, it seemed like I would either just get the silent treatment or they would just blurt out some answer without explaining themselves. And neither of them really helped me. I can honestly say that. Now, why the people in our lives handled themselves this way, I don't know, man. Maybe that's the best they could do. Maybe they didn't have anyone helping them come up with answers, or they didn't have anyone helping them come up with long-winded explanations. Maybe they just didn't have the mental bandwidth, or maybe they just didn't have the vocabulary capacity to come up with the correct answer. So I know what that's like. To answer your question, how do I make a decision? Well, I would say the first thing is that I have to accept that I have to make the decision, that I have to come up with the solution, and that I have to own the outcomes of the solution, good, bad, or indifferent. And when you start off with that as your framework, that the responsibility is on me to come up with the answer. I've got the agency to come up with the answer, and I'm going to be able to own the outcomes of that answer. So that's the first thing that you've got to get your head squared around with. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Another loopity loop answer, another loopity loop scenario. Bro, I asked you what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't ask for no treatise on how things are supposed to hypothetically work themselves out with the context of some socioeconomic system, bro. I ain't got time for all this. The reason I gave you that long winded answer, or the reason I gave that socioeconomic answer, as you put it, is because we do live within a society. We do live within a planet. And your actions and your decisions have an impact on yourself, and they have an impact on the people around you. They have an impact in the environment around you. Okay? If you decide to throw some garbage out your window while you're driving, does that just magically disappear? Or does someone have to come by and pick it up? Bro, I don't know, man. I never thought about it. I just would always just throw that out the window, and ain't nobody told me to stop, so I just thought it was cool. Well, look, man. If no one told you that's not cool, let me be the first person to say that's not cool. Okay? So I'll be happy to be that person. But what I'm getting at is you've got to stop waiting for people to tell you what to do in any given situation. You've got to start coming up with your own answers. You got to start anticipating what type of feedback you're going to get when you make a decision, what type of response you're going to get when you make a decision. And then when you do make those decisions, how that's going to impact the world around you. Okay, so you've got to start working a couple of steps ahead every time you make a decision. And I'd say the first thing is you have to ask yourself is, okay, how would this make me feel if somebody did this to me? How would this make me feel if someone's throwing garbage on my front yard? How would this make me feel if people are blaring music past my house at 3 a.m.? How would this make me feel if people are just, banging on my door, or people are just being disrespectful to me 24/7? How would that make me feel? So with that being said, how would that make you feel? Man, I'd fuck they shit up, bro. I ain't gonna be disrespecting me. I'm about to send them a message loud and clear. You feel me? Okay, so it sounds like you wouldn't like if that happened. It sounds like if someone's doing those things to you, that you're going to tell them to stop right away. That's fair enough. I don't want to get into the exact response you're going to give them, but it sounds like you wouldn't like that. So then let's go one step further. Let's flip it here. Instead of people being disrespectful to you, instead of people throwing garbage on your front yard, how do you think they feel if you're being disrespectful to them? How do you think they feel if you're throwing garbage on their front yard? How do you think they feel if you're cutting them off? How do you think they feel if you're just getting in their way 24/7, not giving a fuck? How do you think they feel about that? Well, it depends on who it's happening to. If it's one of my brothers, I'm going to have the most respect for him. I'm going to make sure that I'm being kind and courteous if it's one of my brothers. But let me tell you, if it's Group B or Group C, I ain't got no time for them. I ain't got no respect for them. They ain't got no respect for me. So, bruh, let me ask you this. Even if it is a member of Group B or Group C, what if that person is able to help you hold the door open one day? What if that person is able to help you change a tire? What if that person is able to call 911 and help save your life one day? What if that person is able to perform CPR to save your life? Does that not mean anything simply because they're a member of Group B or Group C? Man, I never thought about it that way because ain't nobody do shit for me but my brothers. Nobody's held the door open for me. No one's gave me a hand with my spare tire or jump in my car. Nobody's done none of that shit for me. And every time we used to call 911, they wouldn't even come out because they always said that, oh, we were faking it, or we were outside of some dispatch zone. So I don't know anything about that, bro. I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't know nothing about nobody else helping me. I don't know nothing about 911 coming to help us. So you need to help me understand what this is about. So man, what I'm getting at is that people can be very kind. People can be courteous. People can be respectful if you give them the space to be respectful and you give them the space to be kind. Okay? I'm not saying there aren't jerks. There's going to be jerks everywhere on planet Earth. There's going to be jerks that are in Group A, Group B, and Group C. But just because a person's a jerk in a group doesn't mean that everyone in that group is automatically a jerk. That's not the case. And as far as you're saying 911 wasn't coming to get you, I honestly wasn't there, so I really can't speak on any of that. That sounds horrible. If that's honestly what happens, that sounds horrible. But I can tell you that there are going to be firefighters, there are going to be police officers, there are going to be paramedics that will come and help you, and they're probably going to be a member of a group that you don't like. They're probably going to be a member of Group B or Group C. And as professionals, they're going to help you to the best of your abilities, to the best of their abilities. So, if you've only had people from Group A help you, it sounds like you never gave a chance from Group B or Group C to help you. I guarantee you, if someone's calling 911 and the paramedic comes to do life support, or there's a bystander that's doing life support, they might be a member of Group B or Group C. And they are not going to stop helping you simply because you're a member of Group A. They might actually keep helping you because they know you're a member of Group A, and they actually might want to start mending those wounds. They might want to start building that bridge. What if that's the case? Uh, uh, I don't know, man. This is all just too hypothetical for me. Like I said, I haven't done none of this. So I don't know where this is happening. I don't know what this is happening. Bro, man, listen. Okay, listen. My people, we're already talking about building a compound. Okay, we're talking about buying some land where we ain't got to be dealing with nobody from Group B or Group C. That we're just going to take care of ourselves, and we aren't going to need no help from nobody because ain't nobody want to help us in the first place. So let me ask you this. Let's say you see a person coming by and you don't know anything about the person other than it appears they're having a heart attack. And you would assume that they're a member of Group A and you're going to help them because they're a member of Group A. Let's say you call 911 and you end up trying to help this guy, and it turns out he's a member of Group B, or it turns out he's a member of Group C. Would you go back in time and stop yourself from calling that guy? Would you say that there's no inherent value in helping that guy? Well, man, first of all, I wouldn't even run into that situation, okay? Because if I'm running into them people, that's got to be a unique situation, and I'm going to have some backup with me. Okay, so this calling people, helping people, walking, that don't happen with me, bro. Like I said, we're about to build a compound, and we don't need to be talking to nobody no more, so I think we need to start wrapping this up. So let's look at it from this perspective, shall we? Let's say that you somehow had to go into town to take care of some business. Like you built the compound, but you had to go into town to take care of something. And let's say that you start having a heart attack. You're walking into the building to take care of your business, and you start having a heart attack. And let's say that the only person that's there to help you is a member of Group B. Let's just say that. It's a member of Group B. Or it's a member of Group C, whatever. Non-Group A. Let's say that there is absolutely no chance of anyone from Group A finding out about this. And there is absolutely nothing negative that can come from this, other than the simple fact a person from Group B or a person from Group C called 911 to get the ambulance out there. So, you're having a heart attack. A person from Group C calls the ambulance. No one from Group A will ever know. And there's absolutely no negative consequences that you're going to experience from this. Is it better that that person doesn't help you? I mean, man, that's really out there, but I mean, I guess I'd let him help me. I mean, if no one's going to find out and he ain't going to hurt me, then yeah, I guess I would. Okay. So, with that being said, that means that there's some inherent value in that person calling the ambulance, and there's some inherent value in that person helping you. That person interacting with that group C is not automatically bad. That there is a context where a person from group C could actually help you. What if we can find more contexts like that? What if we can find more situations where it's actually okay to accept the help of a person from group B? What if we can find more situations where it's okay to accept the help from a person from group C? Let's say we can find those situations. Same idea. No one from group A is ever going to know, and it's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. If you could find more situations like that, would you want to learn about those? Would you want to be aware of those? I mean, yeah, I guess I would. I don't know. I mean, I still ain't had this happen, so you're going to have to help me understand where all this is happening because I haven't seen nobody do nothing like this for me. So, but yeah, I guess if it was possible, I sure would. So, bro, what I would recommend for you is to ask yourself, start walking through situations like that. Let's say there's a police officer and you know they're group B or group C. Let's say there's a paramedic, you know they're group B or group C. Let's say there's a firefighter, you know they're group B or group C. What if, in a hypothetical world, none of those people have malicious intent other than the fact that you're perceiving them as being group B or group C? They have no malicious intent whatsoever. They just simply want to help you because that's their job. And maybe because they simply want to help people, regardless of who they are. So you have to start finding more situations like that. You have to start allowing yourself to say, if I am in that situation, I do want that person's help. That person is not beneath me. I am not above that person. That person is helping me for any number of reasons, but most of them are either because they honestly like helping people and or because it's their job. So at that point, if a member of group B or group C can actually help you, then can we honestly say at that point that they're entirely bad? Can we honestly say they're bringing zero value to this planet? They're bringing zero value to this world if they're able to help you? Okay, look, man. I already told you this is way too theoretical. I told you this is way too hypothetical. I told you that there's too much speculation here. I don't got time to deal with this, okay? I'm living on planet Earth. I've got Group A that I've got to deal with. I came to you today to get me some perspective on how to make some decisions on my own. And then you start going into I got to start finding my agency and then I got to see the value in these people. What are you getting at, man? Bro, what I'm getting at is that you've got to start seeing people as valuable unto themselves, and you need to see yourself as valuable unto yourself. If you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, I've got value that's going to be here no matter what, regardless of what I do. And that person standing over there has value no matter what, regardless of what they do. Once you get that as your starting point, it actually becomes a lot easier to make decisions on your own because you're not going to want to automatically hurt yourself or hurt the other guy. You're going to try to make a decision that's going to be beneficial for you, and you're going to try to make a decision that isn't at least going to hurt them. Okay? If anything, you can find a decision that's going to help you and maybe help them as well for mutual respect, mutual appreciation. So that's why I was walking you through that scenario with the group B or group A paramedic, is because that person has value. regardless of how you're viewing them right now. And I want you to see your value as well. Then it's a lot easier to start making decisions, because you're going to say, I want to make a decision that benefits me and at least doesn't hurt people around me. At least doesn't negatively impact people around me. Okay? You can start off that way. And then you can say, well, let's say that then you can go one step further than that and say, how can I make a decision that benefits myself? And how can I make a decision that would benefit the people around me? If they have inherent value, we might as well acknowledge it. And then I'd even go one step further. There's this point in time where you have to say, look, it's actually not about me at this point. It's about that person right there. And I want to help them. I want to help them flourish. I want to help them get through their situation, because I see that they have value. I see that they matter. And I'm doing that because I would have done that to myself. I would have given myself the time. I would have given myself the information, because I have value. I matter. And maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to reciprocate it back. So I'm going to help myself because I enjoy myself. And at bare minimum, it's not going to hurt anyone around me, or at least minimize that. Then you could say step 2 is I'm going to help myself and help those around me. And then step 3, I'm going to help the man that's having a problem in front of me, because I see his value. I see his worth. And the reason I'm doing that, step 4, is so that hopefully he can return the favor. Hopefully he can pay it forward back. Hopefully. Might not happen each and every time, but hopefully. So help yourself, help somebody else, and then maybe they can help you back. That's how you make a decision about what you should do in any given scenario. Whether it's throwing garbage out the window, whether it's screaming at the top of your lungs at 3 a.m., whether it's, should I take this path to work? Should I start giving my time and energy to certain perspectives? You just have to ask yourself, how does it fit in that value chain of helping myself and helping them? And then hopefully it helps me back. That's how you can make a decision. And there's a lot more steps beyond that, okay? There's a lot of steps beyond that. But if you can just start that as your simple framework of, should I pick up the garbage, yes or no? Should I cut him off on the highway, yes or no? Should I be disrespectful when I'm at the register? Should I be disrespectful when I'm talking to someone at work? Should I be disrespectful when I'm out and about in my affairs? Should I be honest with my business? Should I be honest with how I carry myself? Well, just ask yourself, how does that fit into the equation of helping others and helping yourself? And likewise, if it were done to you, ask yourself how it fits into that. So you could say, should I be honest with my business? Like, let's just say that you're a tradesman. Maybe you're an electrician, and you know what your rate is, you know how much your time is, you know how much your supplies are, and all of your prices are, fairly priced and fairly accurate, and it's very clear and transparent. I mean, so is that how you would want someone to treat you if you needed help? Would you want things to be fair and honest and transparent? Well, yeah, probably. So if you want people to be fair and transparent to you, then you need to be fair and transparent to them. And they may or may not reciprocate it initially, but you've got to start off by being fair and transparent to them. And then I'd say one step before that, be fair and transparent to yourself. Is any of this making sense? Man, I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I definitely want people to be honest with me. I would want my mechanic to be honest. I definitely don't want to get ripped off by him. I want my plumber to be honest, but I don't know. Ain't no one ever been honest to me, man. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know what this feels like. So, man, you're going to have to start building those experiences. And I would just say the one that you can start off with is being honest and transparent with yourself. Being honest and fair with yourself. And just ask yourself, how would I like to be treated? What would ideal look like? And then you can start experiencing life that way. And then you can say, okay, I think I got a pretty good understanding of how I want to be treated. Now I think I might know how I want someone else to be treated. You know? So you got to start building those experiences on your own. You've got to start building that framework. You've got to not live in a compound where you're not going to talk to the outside world. You've got to be able to deal with lots of different people in lots of different contexts and understand that each one of those situations does have a value and that other person has a value. And yeah, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to make mistakes. That's a given. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. If you don't learn from the mistake, now there we got a problem. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. Does that make sense? Oh, man, I just never thought in a million years how I wanted to really be treated with any of this, man. It's just been just straight up survival from the jump, okay? So, I don't know. This just seems extremely vague and unknown. Like, this sounds like something that I can't wrap my head around. So, man, look, what I would just. So, first of all, if you don't know, you don't know. If you honestly don't know how you would like to be treated, if everything's been just survival, you got to own that. You've got to accept that as your starting point. But I promise that does not have to be your ending point. You can wake up today, you can operate as of today and say, I don't really know how I want to be treated. I really don't know what I really want. But let me start finding that. And pick the simplest situation. The simplest situation, and just think long and clear about it. Saying, like I said, that just work with the mechanic in your car. Say, look, what exactly would I want in that situation? Like, really write it down, get it detailed as possible. Saying, I would want timely communication. I would want clear communication. I would want clear prices. I would want clear timelines. I would want accurate prices and accurate timelines. And I want fair prices, that if I take my car into anywhere else around town, that his prices are going to be fair. And I also want a good work history, that if I go look this guy up, that he has a good track record. And that also, if I do bring my car back for more service, that I'm going to be treated fairly and with respect each and every time. Okay? So that might be an example of you walking through a simple situation and really listing out all the ways you would want to be treated in that situation. Does that sound like something you can do? Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I just never had anyone give a fucker shit about me. So, yeah, I guess all that would be cool. I don't know how much is going to happen, but yeah, it'd be cool. So, look, man, just what I'm getting at is, it sounds like you haven't had this happen, and that sounds like it sucks. Sounds like it's a lot. Sounds like it doesn't make you feel good. But just allow yourself to imagine it is possible. Allow yourself to imagine people treating you with respect. Allow yourself to imagine treating yourself with respect. And then just continue that dialogue, continue that conversation of how would I want someone to treat me with respect if ABC were to happen? How would I want someone to treat me with respect? At the same time, how would I want to treat myself with respect if ABC were to happen? Would I want to start swinging my arms around? Would I want to start raising my voice? Just allow yourself to explore that, because there is no one answer for any of this, because each situation is going to be unique, and ultimately you've got to walk through those situations. But just ask yourself, how would I want to be treated with respect? And then, how can I treat others with respect? How can others treat me with respect? Okay? So that's what you're just asking for. How would I want people to treat me with respect? How would I want to treat myself with respect? How can I treat them with respect? Okay? And if you can just keep those 3 points of treating yourself, treating others, and then others treating you, if you can just if you can keep those 3 points and have respect be the bridge between each of those points, treating yourself, treating others, and others treating you, then it's going to be very easy to figure out what the correct answer is. And what I would say for you, bro, is you have a very unique way to explore things comprehensively. You have a way of understanding things very deeply. Start understanding yourself outside the context of Group A. Start understanding yourself as a person with inherent value. Start understanding people as a person with inherent value. And then it's going to be a lot easier to figure out what you're supposed to do in each situation. Treating yourself with respect, treating others with respect, others treating you with respect. And then it's going to be very easy at that point. Does that sound like that help you out, man? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Every time you and me get together, it just seems like I got more shit I got to think about and shit I got to do. I'm just trying to just trying to get through all this, and I don't know. It just seems like there's always something else. That's the journey, man. There's always something new to think about. There's always something new to learn. There's always something new to discover. That's what makes it exciting. Is because this is a very dynamic project that we're all a part of. And the project is being alive on planet Earth. This is very complex, it's very dynamic, it's very convoluted, and surprisingly, it's also simple. So, I would just say it's okay if you probably get a little overwhelmed. I mean, you definitely got to know how to hit pause, saying, okay, I spent a half hour thinking about this. I don't have any more time. I got to get back to something. Okay, that's cool, but give yourself that half hour, man. Give yourself that space and that time. I didn't come up with this all at once, dude. I would have to run these scenarios in my head over and over again. And then when I did actually go through the situation, when I went through the scenario, I ran through it again, saying, what could have I done better? How might they may have misinterpreted what I said? And then I would just start asking myself, okay, I mean, if I was in their shoes, how would I want to be treated, right? And then you can start thinking long term, like I said, kind of going back to that whole what's going to benefit me, what's going to benefit them. And then if you really want to like expand this, you can go into what's going to help me today, what's going to help me tomorrow, what's going to help them today, what's going to help them tomorrow. You know, what's going to help the people that I don't even know about, but the people that I haven't met that I care about. What's going to help them today, what's going to help them tomorrow. So there's different layers to this. There's ways to pull this apart and unpack this, but I would say, man, just start off with something simple and just do your best to really understand it and really ask yourself, how could have I made this better? How could have I made this smoother? How can I make this better for myself? How can I make this better for them? And then it'll be a lot simpler and easier each and every time. Does that sound cool? Does that sound you can work with that? Yeah, I can pull something. I can pull it together with something like that. Yeah, I can do that. But you know, I appreciate you, man. You're always trying to give me some good advice, and I'll see you again next time. Okay? Very welcome. And I appreciate you giving me your time and attention, and I'll see you next time.